Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you everyone for being here and those watching on TV. First order of business is public hearing. Turn it over to Gabe.
Okay, so this hearing is called to order at 7:00 p.m. on March 25th, 2025 at the Board of Alderman meeting room at Hermann City Hall. And this is a public hearing. A transcript is being prepared, correct? By a court reporter, so that's available for anyone who may want to look at that afterwards once it's prepared. The hearing is conducted to consider a request to rezone properties owned by the following persons or their entities on 3rd Street from R2 two-family residential to C1 general commercial. And it's on 3rd Street, so it's Nancy Satray at 109 East 3rd Street, Cheryl Stoggsville at 8 Hollyhock Alley, Grant Wilkins at 113, 116, 119, 121, and 123 East 3rd Street, HLM Hospitality at 129 East 3rd Street, Tina Shabel at 133 East 3rd Street, 111 Guest Cottage at 110 East 3rd Street, Vino Nest LLC at 112 East 3rd Street, Peace Valley Properties at 120 East 3rd Street, Tyler and Rachel Schneider at 124 East 3rd Street, Janine Maroney at 126 East 3rd Street, James Guidry at 128 East 3rd Street, Designer for a Day LLC at 132 East 3rd Street, and that's it. And so again, they're seeking to go from R2 two-family residential to C1 general commercial. And at its hearing held on March the 12th, the city's Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously passed a motion to recommend that this application be approved by the Board of Aldermen. Proper written notice of the hearing has been provided. The applicants will have an opportunity to present their case. If there are any documents they desire the board to rely on, they're invited to submit those as exhibits. If the applicants have any witnesses whom they desire to speak, this will be allowed. And if the applicants are represented by an attorney whom they wish to speak on their behalf, this also is allowed. Following the presentation, or while any person is speaking, the board may ask questions, and after the applicants complete their presentation, the board will ask for testimony from others in the room, and the mayor reserves the right to limit each speaker's time. At the conclusion of all testimony and comments, the board may deliberate and then vote on the issue. Whether the application is approved or denied is carried by a vote of the majority of the board members who are present this evening. And there are some exhibits. Exhibit 1 is a 15-page exhibit consisting of application form and various documents in support of the application. Exhibit 2 is an aerial photo indicating the lots on 3rd Street. Exhibit 3 is a blow-up of this portion of 3rd Street showing this R2 zone, and that was Exhibit 3. Exhibit 4 is a list of the property owners within 185 feet of the 100 block of East 3rd Street who were sent actual notice of this hearing. Exhibit 5 is a copy of the affidavit of publication provided by the newspaper confirming that notice of hearing was printed in the newspaper. Exhibit 6 is a copy of the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting where they recommended that the application be approved. And Exhibit 7 is the entire municipal code of the city of Hermann, Missouri. Mayor Cox, do you agree to accept these exhibits into the record?
Yes, sir.
So if our applicants or anybody on behalf of the applicants would like to speak, now would be the time.
BOA, I appreciate the review of the paperwork, and a lot of the 3rd Street neighbors are here in support of this initiative. I won't go through the entire details of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, but this process started when I purchased the property at 110 3rd Street. my daughter, Madeline, who's here presently. This is going to be a full-time residence for her. She's a school teacher at Gastonade County Middle School, teaching special ed. This is going to be a situation where she'll live full-time, but she'll have to probably rent on occasion just to help probably satisfy some of her monthly costs. But from that standpoint, she, reluctantly wants to do it, but, this is just what's gonna have to happen for her to have a property on that street. And then as I approached all the neighbors to make sure they were okay with it, each individual neighbor was in support of it. As I mentioned to planning and zoning last time I was here, if I would have gotten any pushback at all, I would have just cease and desist the application, because I don't think that would have been the right thing to do, and we would have went a different pathway. But all neighbors were in full agreement with it, so we proceeded. And again, I do appreciate the support of planning and zoning. There's a lot of businesses on the street. There's a few individual property owners. Tina Shavel is one, and she obviously was in full support as well, which I'm very appreciative of. But that's really where we're at today, and I just appreciate the board reviewing this and making your consideration based upon what I've just stated. Is there any questions?
Anybody? All good? Everybody good? I think it's been a long time coming, so I, for one, I'm glad to see it's finally gonna come to arbitration, so if no one has any questions, you have anything for him? Okay. If not, let's move on to somebody wants to make a motion to approve.
Or how about anybody in the audience? Anybody else want to speak, either in favor or in opposition?
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, somebody want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion has been made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is made, second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. All right.
Ordinance at the next meeting?
Correct.
It'll be an ordinance at the next meeting?
Yes, has to be in ordinance form before it goes into effect, but. Okay, very good. Move on to the mayor's report. Really don't have much to report, but hope everybody had an opportunity to get out and enjoy the Worst Fest a little bit. It's pretty amazing each year that the Winnie Dog thing just gets a little bit bigger and bigger. And the breakfast at the firehouse was a huge success. If you haven't been there, try it next year. The guys do a really, really good, the guys and a gal do a really good job. And the fire department really appreciates all that. The other thing I wanted to mention, Schiller Street, the water department is putting water lines in between 3rd and 2nd. So Schiller's going to be closed for the next couple of days while they do that. So trying to stay clear of that area if you can. That's all I really have. City Administrator.
Thank you. As everyone noticed, the porch has been demoed completely. They've also broken up all the concrete slab as well. And so they're going to come back tomorrow, I hope, and pour a little walkway, so at least we could reopen the front. And I think they're going to do more to seal off the open spaces for the weather. So then our next step is for that company called CSI to come out and do the boring and do the soil samples, and their schedule is at least 3 weeks out. But you may also have noticed that our guys, in preparation for them coming, excavated along the foundation on each side of the building. They wanted to see what the foundation looked like, what kind of shape it was in, did they have a footing, how far did they have to dig down to find rock, was there water? So they took a lot of pictures of all those things. They closed up some of the holes, some of them they left partially open if they felt CSI needed to see it. So that's kind of where that process is at. Kelly Bates from Hermann was here last week, and he conducted firearms training simulations for the police department. He comes every year, and they do scenarios, like shoot, don't shoot scenarios, like on domestic violence, school shooter, traffic, fleeing felon, and then they analyze how they performed and discuss about proper use of force. The Public Works Department, as the mayor said, the water department's working on Schiller Street. They've also installed 2 new water services, 2 new gas services, and they have the lagoon UV system up and ready for recreation season, which begins April 1. The street department has been repairing a lot of storm drains. One in the park, one on West 6th, West 10th and Gately, Market Street there by the bakery. If you saw the cones, that's what they were doing. And of course, they're working on mowers in preparation for the mowing season. And I think I mentioned last time that street sweeping has begun. The pool, normally this time of year, we are begging and pleading for applications for lifeguards, but as we would have it, we've had lots of applications, which is wonderful. So the pool looks to be in good shape. The park, they obviously have a lot of cleaning to do after all the wind and the storms, so they've been doing a lot of cleaning of debris, and they're pressure washing the basketball court, and then they're going to paint the new lines on that, and work on cleaning up the pavilions and putting some new rock on the levee where the RVs park. The electric department, so we've had a lot of street lamp failures with the new decorative lighting, and these lights were supposed to last years, and so we're going to be making a claim on our warranty on those bulbs and maybe even go to a different type of bulb. We've been talking about this large sewer camera, and I think they just had a demo last week, and hopefully at the next meeting we will have something to present to you for a decision on whether or not to purchase that piece of equipment. And Jesse's working on getting some information together for MRPC from the utilities comprehensive plan meeting that they needed. So he's working on that as well. And he will spend on vacation. He'll be back tomorrow. Speaking of the comprehensive plan, we had another meeting last Friday for the community facilities and emergency management, and thank everybody who participated in that. We had representation from the ambulance and the hospital and the health department and some other folks, so that was really good in the county. And I think that's all I need to say for now. Thank you.
Very good. We thank you. Tourism, economic development.
Good evening, everyone. This is my quarterly report that I give to you. At the Visitor Information Center at the Amtrak station, Anita Watson is helping us research a list of bus tour groups that Kay Schwinke gave us. Kay is non-stoppable. One of the groups that Anita reached out to has already booked a tour in May. She's also helping us do follow-up calls and packets to leads we are getting by advertising in Meet magazine, which is a magazine focused on meeting venues in Missouri. Sharon Meyer has done a training meeting with Reagan of the Missouri Division of Tourism about listing our events on the Missouri Division of Tourism website, visitmo.com. She has been working very hard to get our citywide events on that website, including photos and videos. Lisa Kleinschmidt has sent out our new visitor guides to welcome centers around the state. She's posting weekend events on our bulletin board down there and also updating daily business hours sheets. Here in the office, our new visitor guides and map pads, like we said, I already said, were printed in February, and Rob and I distributed those to our attractions partners in and around town. Rob and I carved out a day, or carving out a day each month to work on our social media calendar. This has actually been a goal of mine since I started in 2018, and we're finally in a place where we can do that. So very excited about that. In February, I tested to the Missouri House of Representatives Budget Committee in support of the MoDOT budget for the Missouri River Runner. I'm working with St. George School and the Hermann Elementary School to bring Ollie the otter to the schools to greet the kids in observance of National Travel and Tourism Week. Lisa, Sharon, Anita, our newsletter writer Peggy, and I all participated in a training day where we went to several businesses and locations where Worst Fest events were held, and also visited sites for our upcoming newsletters. Meetings and events I've attended since January are the Stay in the Heartland membership recruitment meeting, MRPC monthly meetings, HRED monthly meetings, Chamber open house for their new meeting room and community room, the Missouri Association of Convention and Visitors Bureau's small markets training, Missouri Travel Alliance board meetings, MORPAC meetings, which is our train meetings, and I lead the monthly MORPAC marketing committee meetings. Last Friday, Rob and I hosted Thomas Vogler with Travel Marketing Romberg and Megan Sheets from the Missouri Division of Tourism. Thomas has been hired from the Missouri Division of Tourism to promote Missouri in Germany. His office is in Dusseldorf, Germany. We had a great visit and hope to see him again in Missouri real soon. The Missouri RV Parks and Campgrounds Association has one more RV show to go to, and they take our visitor guides to those shows. So far this year, they have handed out over 3,000 of our visitor guides to RV campers and leisure travelers. Jennifer Davis, Rob, and I have been working with Madden Media to implement our FY25 marketing plan, and we're updating plans for FY26. Rob and I sent out the January, February, and March newsletters and worked with the Worst Fest committee to do a special newsletter for the Worst Fest. The next newsletter will go out Wednesday. Yesterday, I hosted 2 students and their professor from the University of Central Missouri. They were here as a part of a journalism class doing backpack tourism or backpack journalism. They rode the Amtrak Missouri River Runner and covered the Wiener Dog Derby. They will highlight Hermann as a great destination for Warrensburg students, faculty, and staff in the Mule Skinner newspaper and their social media outlets. Congratulations and thank you to the Hermann Area Chamber of Commerce for a successful 44th annual Hermann Worst Fest. Town was very busy and it was great to see so many people enjoying our history and heritage. I've been working with Tricia and several businesses to find a space or land for their businesses here in Hermann. And that is it. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anyone? Thank you, and thank you for all you do. Okay. Mike Mueller's here from the ambulance district.
If it's okay with you, I'd like to hand out some flyers.
It's mine.
So thank you for letting me talk this evening. I just wanted to give the board some information about our sales tax proposal that's going to be on the April ballot. I thought as prominent leaders of the community, it would be important that you guys understood what we were asking and why we were asking for it. That being said, so in 2005, the ambulance district initially enacted a half-cent sales tax. At that time, the property tax in the district was lowered by half what they were collecting in sales tax. We've been pretty fortunate over the last 20 years that we've not had to ask the taxpayers for any further money. But that being said, everything's gone up, expenses have gone up, income, while it's gone up, has not kept up with expenses. We had about a 65% increase in expenses and a 63% increases in income. So while we're not broke today, we can't continue on that trend because we will run out of money. We've been pretty fortunate over the last few years. We've been able to get a lot of grant money that has supported the purchase of a new ambulance, some new radios, and some turnout gear equipment. But as everybody knows, grant money is short-term funding and it's not long-term sustainable funding. So our proposition is for an additional half-cent sales tax to bring our total sales tax to 1 cent. As we did in 2005, we will roll back the sales tax, we will roll back the property tax by half what we collect in sales tax. So we're hoping that our portion of the property tax that is imposed on the citizens of our district will go close to zero, if not zero. We're hoping by doing so, we will spread the cost to the district, not just among the people that live here, but also the people that come and visit Hermann, because they are also utilizers of our service. Right now, we've been doing really good with retention. We have a lot of local people that work for us, which is huge. and we would like to continue that trend. In order for us to stay competitive though in this market, we will need to try to figure out a way to make some more money. So that is what we're proposing. Like I said, I wanted you guys to be aware of it. And if you guys have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions. Anybody from the crowd?
No questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We'll move on to public comments. Sandra, would you like to speak?
I'm Sandra Hinks. You guys have heard from me twice already. I feel a little troubled, and I feel like a broken record because I've addressed the same thing already. And I don't really know what to comment specifically because I'm commenting before you have the discussion. The discussion is coming next. So I don't really know what to address in a broad aspect, but specifically I do want to say for you guys, my husband and I own 5 rental homes in the city limits. We do live outside of the city limits. Long-term rentals. We have quality houses. We get called all the time from people that want our houses. We rent to teachers, we rent to the doctors or nurses at the hospital. We don't advertise, we don't need to. But I will say that just this last week in going to a couple of rentals because of collecting a rent check or getting called about something, I noticed a couple of things we're gonna have to fix. Every landlord out here is gonna have to fix stuff. I guarantee you, there's not a single landlord that has long-term rentals that is not going to have a list of items that they're gonna have to fix. We're all gonna have a delay in renting to people because we are gonna have to fix them. And it's not gonna be a big fix. The things I noticed weren't big, but I guarantee you to get someone to come do it, to get an electrician or a contractor, is going to have a delay in renting to people. People that need housing. Hermann needs housing for people that need long-term rentals. We will have to, as other landlords, pass on that cost to the renter. We're gonna have to do it because we're gonna have to dish out money to get the inspection permit or inspection, whatever the certificate, whatever I'm paying for. We're gonna have to dish out more money. We're gonna have increased cost on the repairs. The one gentleman at the last meeting that spoke about the bathroom vent, he's gonna have to tear out his bathroom. I think I may have to tear out, a bathroom in one of our rentals. And that's not, this is a bathroom that was recently renovated also. It does have a vent. It vents up in the attic and it may vent under the eave, but I don't know that it's going to be pass inspectionable. I asked that if you do pass this ordinance, my husband, I begged him not to come because he is so against this, he would not have been very civil. I ask if you do pass this that we need specifics. We need to know exactly what we have to do. This general thing, oh, I might pass it, I'll know as soon as I get in, is not gonna work. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, on that note, been thinking pretty serious about this. I've talked to city administrator, and I think what I would like to see is basically a committee formed, city administrator, the building inspector, the clerk, and 3 landlords. And basically have, if you want to call it a workshop or whatever, amongst yourselves where you can sit down and actually go through the stuff and then bring it back to everybody up here. I don't know if everybody else likes that idea, but I think that's, instead of doing what we're doing, that way, just like she said, they want more specifics. that this is a way to maybe get that accomplished. How's that sound to you?
Completely in favor of that. I would like to ask if an alderman can be involved in that committee.
Well, actually, yeah, there should be 2 aldermen. I skipped that. I'm
Well,
sorry.
1 or 2 would be great.
That was in my list. I just didn't write it down. Anyway, yeah, 2 aldermen also.
So, do you want to invite Sandra to be a part of that?
Would you be on that? Sure she would. I can tell by the smile.
Would you like to reach out to a couple other people and have them call the office?
I will tell you, I did not grow up here. I don't know who a lot of the other landlords are.
Okay, we have a list, I guess, from the prior workshop. Yeah. Okay, very good.
Is that okay with y'all? I think that's the way that that's a step forward, I guess, is what I'm saying, you know. And then if it's 1 meeting, 2 or 3 meetings, whatever it takes for y'all to iron out what you think needs to be in there, then we can proceed and do
Oh
something.
my, I hope one. I hope
Well,
one.
I mean, I don't know, you know, you can come to
Good.
the solution of what you think it needs to be. All right? We all good on that then? Is there any other discussion on the rental inspection? Did y'all?
I'll just say I'm on my way out, but I obviously am opposed to this. I think we're placing an unnecessary burden on the housing that we're desperate for. And if it does happen, I think it needs to be very much less gray area.
Right, and that's what we're trying to do, I think. Anybody else?
I'll volunteer for the committee.
Okay. So, ash it on the committee if anybody else wants to get with city administrator. Okay, next on the old business is discuss the electricity utility rates. We, like everything else in the world, cost of everything goes up. Basically, the city is a business. And our electric department's been running in the red. And we're gonna have to do something about it. So I'll turn it over to you if you want
Yeah,
to discuss the figures.
Didn't plan on a big discussion tonight, being that, Jesse's not here and stuff, but just want to give you a little bit more information. This spreadsheet is on your desk, and I emailed it to you like this afternoon. Dolores noted that the customer service charge and demand charge should not have the 7.5% on it. So this is accurate. This is a spreadsheet Jesse did, and it reflects that properly calculated. It is based on a calendar year. I would want to change that to our fiscal year, but this gives you an idea. So just down here, at the very bottom in the red, that's telling you how much the 7.5% would produce. And so it's only $240,000, $248,436.92. So that's not a lot. So as you'll remember, we're supposed to be putting, according to a study that we had by a professional rate study, we're supposed to be putting away $10,900 into 2 reserve funds, kind of a self-insurance, because the poles and the wire are not covered by insurance. They won't cover them. So we had to quit doing that last year and borrow some money, $100,000 from those 2 funds, just to put the budget in the black. So annually, what we should be putting away in those reserve funds is $261,600, which is more than what the 7.5% would even make us. And so that's not including any capital projects or repaying the money back into the reserve funds if you wanted to do that. If you look at, I want to make the correction in your book. If you look at this report here that was in your book, if you just go over to the far right-hand column, in the gray, where the percentage is showing where we will land with the expenses versus the income. So instead of, go to the bottom first, that is last fiscal year. And you'll see the true number there in the red. We were truly in the red, 11.54%. If you'll go over to the last column, it says that with the 7.5%, we'd be at a negative 3.89 had that been in effect. But if you'll cross through that and write 5.59, that's the actual number with the correction. And then if you go to the top, that's the fiscal year to date. We are actually 2.77% in the red at the moment. And if you go over to the far right-hand column there at the bottom where it says that with the 7.5%, what would it look like? Instead of 4.18, it's 2.74 in the black. So you can see actually how little impact the 7.5% actually give us. So anyway, I guess my suggestion would be that maybe the next step would be, if you guys want to get down into the nitty-gritty, if we want to have a workshop, we could have Jesse with his spreadsheet, we could plug in different rates live while we're meeting to see what the result would be and where you all would be comfortable if you wanted to move forward with an increase. He's put a lot of hours into doing rate comparisons with other utilities, other cities. And I think he announced at the last meeting that there's only 2 in the whole area that are less than us, and that was Quiver River and was it the Fulton Co-op, maybe? So I will leave that to you all how you may or may not want to proceed with that.
What's your all feelings?
Rate increase is a big deal. Shouldn't take it lightly.
Well, it's something they have to do.
Well, I think maybe a workshop, because there's questions on there, I don't know where those numbers come from, but if we can have a workshop, get some of those answers, might explain some of this.
And I think Jesse definitely should be in the discussion.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I'm all for having a workshop.
Okay. You won't be here, so you don't care, I guess.
Could have a
No pressure, no
I
pressure.
might show up.
You can come out there.
Have a citizen
I
involved.
might show up.
Okay, so everybody's in favor of doing a workshop.
Do we want to schedule it now?
That would be fine, because we need to get it done, and so if we're gonna do this, have it done before the budget
Yes.
for next year.
I'd prefer it in April, not May.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it has to be in April.
No.
So our meetings in April, the meeting falls late, the 14th and the 28th. Do you guys like doing it on, we usually do special meetings on Monday, alternating Mondays? We could do the 7th or the 21st.
When we do it on the 21st,
Is that a park board meeting?
It probably is. We could find another room for them if we needed to, or we could find another room. Or we can do it earlier in the month if you guys, because that's getting kind of late in the month actually, if we want to make changes or have another meeting. I need to be plugging numbers in that last week of April, because the draft is due May 1. What about,
I'm okay with the 7th.
well, that's before the election, so.
Derek votes
Trying to
nay.
get me one more meeting.
well, there won't be any voting going on. I mean, I'm sure, it'd just be a workshop. You wouldn't have to come, and Chad would probably want to come. So how about tentatively? How about we tentatively call it the 7th, and then I'll reach out to y'all with an email, and we'll verify if it's a little bit closer. Yeah?
Okey dokey.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion on, we're just gonna do the workshop. Okay, we'll move on. Amphitheater restrooms. This is something we've been working on for 3 years as far as putting the handicap ramp and so forth on the restrooms at the amphitheater. It was a go from the park board, then it wasn't a go, and anyway, we've spent an awful lot of money on advertising, bids, this and that, and now the park board said that they don't want anything to do with it, they don't want to put any money into it. So we're approximately $30,000 to do this. I don't know that she probably got the exact figures.
30,500.
So I guess we need to find out whether we want to pursue this. If we do, we're going to have to take the money out of general. Or,
Sorry.
yep, it's open for discussion. You go.
Can I ask, how much have we paid Travis for the engineering report and project up to date?
We haven't been billed for it yet.
How much do we think it's gonna be?
I don't know, probably under 1,000.
Okay,
And then you got the expense of advertising for, anyway, it's, the bathrooms are there. The whole point was to try and make it handicap accessible. And it's close to the 4th Street downtown area.
It's not a perfect solution. It has some issues. There's no heating there. There are, events that happen down there, and so we'd have to deal with, they designed the gates so that you could close access, but you might still have to have somebody monitoring it if you're having a paid event, if you're really that worried about it. So it's not perfect, but the idea was that it was the downtown businesses were really wanting the city to provide some downtown public restrooms. And so this was, the idea was that it was the quickest and the cheapest way to get that accomplished. One of the park board's concerns is that, so one, they thought their money might be better spent at the Sesquicentennial Park. And putting a bathroom there, I think, is great. They want to improve their park system. But one of the arguments they were making is that they didn't think doing this for the public was necessarily under the park's purview, that should really be their concern, when they should be more concerned about the citizens. But what I didn't really maybe make clear to them is that, it's very a symbiotic relationship with the taxes. I mean, tourism brings in more tourists to town who create the need for more public restrooms. But then the park, how's it funded? It's funded by sales tax. And who comes into town and pays sales tax but the tourist? And who camps at our campground? Not locals, the tourist. And that also funds the park. So it's this very symbiotic relationship as far as the income. So, the park does benefit from tourism, but anyway, it's really a matter for you guys if how you want to proceed with that. Like I said, the amphitheater is not the perfect solution, but it was a solution. It was some kind of offering for another public restroom, and it's not just 2 blocks from the 2 that we already have. It would be on the other side of town. It's a little off the beaten path. You'd have to put up some signage and things like that to direct people there, so,
The problem is we just don't really have any place. I mean, there's some locations to put a public restroom in the downtown area, but the people that own the properties do not want to be a team player, and so this is just an alternative, so I guess what's on the table is, do we want to proceed with it? And if we do, the money has to come out of general, or part of it.
So we have $5,000 budgeted in tourism, so that could go towards it. The park board, we had $10,000 in their budget. I did specifically ask them that if the board wanted to move forward, if they'd be okay with contributing that 10. They didn't really want to, whether or not we could impose our will, I don't know.
Are we assuming that you can't spend money that's in the park fund?
You tell us.
Or you just don't want to step on toes, or It's all the city's money.
Yeah, the city's money.
I mean, it's been approved once already.
Well, that's the sad part. It's already been approved. That's why we moved forward with it, you know, now they've changed their mind.
I don't, I mean,
I think because of the cost, because originally we were only talking $10,000 or something, and then it's escalated now.
But their
you know.
budgeted costs never increased, right? They agreed to 10,000 and
Yeah, but I'm just saying the cost of the project has
Yeah, and then
increased.
now the difference is 12,000 and some change, which, I mean, if you wanted them to still use the 10,000, then the 12,000 additional, you know, we could decide if the general fund wouldn't absorb any more of that, or if we want to split that with the park fund too, you know, it's,
can we even build a restroom in the second centennial? Flood plain
so
and
that
all
is a
that?
consideration. So the back lot and a half of the Sesquicentennial Park is a flood buyout lot, which has more restrictions on it. You can only build the kind of bathrooms that have the cutouts in the bottom so the water can flow through.
Okay.
If you build it closer to the front, it's still in the special flood hazard area, and you'd have to have a elevation certificate, and they would tell you how far up you'd have to build it. Now, something that came up at the park board meeting is that there was an officer here from the J.C.'s, I believe, and he spoke with pretty much certainty that he felt the J.C.'s would be really willing to contribute some money to the Sesquicentennial Park bathroom because they use it for their beer garden.
That's one part, you build it there. The use by, well, some citizen tourism at the beer garden, that will get really used during our festivals and could lead to destruction or.
The problem with
Rip and-
my opinion is, the problem putting it there, you have one at the train station, which is just a little bit over 2 blocks away. You know, we have the train station, we have the riverfront, so that kind of helps the First Street people. It doesn't do anything to benefit the people on 4th Street and Schiller Street on this end of town. So the amphitheater is the closest option, I guess, unless we could find somebody else that wants to build one somewhere, you know, but,
I can also say too, as a business owner on First Street, we had issues for about a good 3 weeks to a month with our restroom, and we had to close it. And we directed people 1 block away, Riverfront Park. They looked at us like we had cockroaches coming out our ears.
no, I know all about that.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Right. I know.
How about on 4th Street? Doesn't the city own a
We own the lot.
lot up there? Where the old post office used to be?
We've talked about that
Right
before,
along
but,
there.
you know, parking being such an issue there, you'd have to take up at least 3 parking places on that parking lot.
And I think the city's got one on 2nd Street also, kind of across from the firehouse down
In the
there.
alley.
Do we?
So,
a standalone structure is gonna be way north of 100,000, probably creeping up on 200,000. This is a solution for 30,000.
right.
So there's no way we can convert the existing restrooms without this expense to put ramps in for ADA?
At the amphitheater, no, this was what they came up with.
And I think we got 3 bids and.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, part of it was about providing public access. In addition to being ADA, providing public access to the sidewalk. So even if the amphitheater were closed, it would be open to the public.
Right. So.
And there is no heat in the,
Right, I think I said that
so
when I
from
opened up, there's no
October till
heat.
March,
Yeah.
it would be closed for sure.
The park board didn't indicate how much money they would be able to push forward for a sesquicentennial bathroom.
No, I think
No.
we're gonna look for bids.
We're looking to find out how much it would really cost.
I think you'll be shocked, but like everything else with the cost of everything. But anyway, I don't guess we have to make a
So,
decision
yeah,
tonight.
well, yeah, we kinda do.
We do have to
The one
make
thing I
a
wanna say is that, well, if we want to do this, it's all teed up. I mean, we've had the engineering done, we've done the required public advertising, we've had the pre-construction meetings, we've got the bids in. It's teed up to go if you wanna do it. If not, then we just need to forget it and move on to something else.
Lick our wounds and go home.
Yeah. Because the people who bid on it aren't gonna want to wait around forever.
I agree with Trish, it was never ideal to do the amphitheater. I didn't really like it the first time I heard it, but now that it's $30,000, I really don't like it. I'd rather start a reserve fund for potential something new somewhere else.
Anybody else? Comment?
I'm not in favor of it. I don't think it's gonna be used that, I don't think that many people are really going to use it to justify the expense that we have to put into it.
That's kind of how I felt about it, but anyway.
Couple months out of the year, maybe, use.
And then you have to consider that whenever the amphitheater is being used, people will not, it's gonna be limited, they can't go in without it being monitored.
Okay. You all want to put that in a motion to scrub this project then? Is that what I'm feeling?
I'll make the motion to,
Reject the bids.
yes.
Okay. Scrub's not the right proper.
No, I was thinking of a better word than scrub.
I'm still a country bumpkin, I'm sorry. I have a motion on the floor to reject. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Not one nay. Okay, so carried. All right, thank you for all your input. Okay, no new business, we're gonna move to ordinance.
The first is bill number 2025-15 for first reading. An ordinance to approve an electric distribution system extension agreement by and between the city of Hermann and the Gasconade County Health Department.
So yeah, this is for the health department. They're making good progress on their building up here on the hill, and they need this new transformer. And so this is just our agreement with them about what we're gonna do and how much they're gonna pay, et cetera.
Anybody have any questions?
Before the Gaston County Health bought it, wasn't our electric there already? As Southwest Medical?
I guess they needed an upgrade.
Okay.
Okay, got a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve bill number 2025-15.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Dave, would you read that a second time, please?
Bill number 2025-15 for second reading. An ordinance to approve an electric distribution system extension agreement by and between the city of Hermann and the Gasconade County Health Department.
Have a motion to approve second reading?
Move bill number 2025-15, second read.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Next is bill number 2025-16 for first reading. An ordinance to de-annex a portion of Lot 3 of Village Market Plat owned by Value Real Estate.
Corey, why don't you?
So, my memo in your packet says the majority of what it is, but Mr. Hubbard had appeared before your board, been over a year now ago, and said that maybe 20 years ago this year, that apparently this portion of ground was never supposed to have been annexed in, based on an agreement they had at the time, but, and it was annexed in, this small portion of property, and he was asking for it to be removed. And they got the, Cochran Engineering got that, the annexation plat and legal description to us for that.
Everybody understand?
Make a motion to pass.
Motion's been made by Jim, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Does this need to be done 2 times?
Bill number 2025-16 for second reading. An ordinance to de-annex a portion of Lot 3 of Village Market Plat owned by Value Real Estate.
We have a motion to approve second reading.
So moved.
Motion is made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We will move on to motions. Do I have a motion to approve our minutes from our last meeting?
Motion to approve.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We have a motion to pay our bills.
I move we pay the bills.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Appoint Nathan Hill to the Tourism Commission. Nathan's here, I believe. Any questions? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Welcome aboard. Quick claim deed, AFS Properties LLC at Lot 55 East 6th Street. This is just one of those things we do quite often. Any questions on it? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion is made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Approve Hermann Fitness Source Aquatics proposal. Any questions?
Yep, we're just gonna do it annually with there were no changes.
Yeah, no, this isn't breaking the mold. It's
Same thing
a
they do
similar
every
program
year.
they do each year, yep.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Approve Dollar General Electrical easement deed. Everybody understand that one? If everybody understands, give me a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Special event application for the Hermann Fire Company #1 Pickleball Tournament, Tennis Pickleball Courts, May 2nd and 3rd, 2025. Have a motion to approve pickleball.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Special event application for the Hermann Area District Hospital Flea Market Vendor Fair Fundraiser Amphitheater, April 26, 2025. Have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We have no reports. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, folks, for putting up with us.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you.
Exactly the whole thing.